Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be running the excavator, running a brand new chainsaw I just got, and we're going to be taking down this old dead tree right here. And still standing, but as you can see all around here, it just keeps dropping branches, dead branches every single day. So I've got my ripper on the excavator. I'm going to go in here and rip around this because I want the stump gone too. Don't plan on just cutting it off and leaving the stump, so I want the stump out of there. So that's why we're going to do it this way with the excavator. Take that out, and got a couple scenarios here that I have to deal with as far as when I push this thing over. The only way I can go with this thing is that way, and problem is there's about a 30-foot drop here, and I know that you can't tell on video how steep that really is, but when it goes down there, it's going to be interesting to see if I can't pull that thing back up. So we're going to take the excavator and push it down. Like I said, one of the main reasons that I want to go that way is because I've got some other trees over here that would be in the way. I don't want all those dead limbs falling into the yard area up here, so I want all that stuff to fall down into the ravine, and so I don't have to worry about what breaks off of it as I'm getting it. But when I get done knocking it over, then I'm going to have to pull it up out of here, up out of the ravine, get it cut up. But first, before we get into cutting on this tree and taking it down and out, a couple things I wanted to share with you. I wanted to start off by saying that getting involved in YouTube has been pretty interesting, fascinating, and actually a whole lot of fun. When I went to Paul Bunyan there a couple weeks ago with Adam, just getting there and starting to walk around and see different things and all that, the people that would walk up and say, "Hey, neighbor Doug," and "Hey, you're from One Eye Customs," and all that, it was actually pretty flattering. I guess I didn't realize the amount of people that had been or had gone to Paul Bunyan that actually recognized me, and it was pretty flattering. So to you that walked up and said hi and shook my hand, I want to thank you for that, because it's a real nice gesture to hear from you guys and to know that you're enjoying the channel, and also hearing what you guys do and what you guys like. So met several very interesting people there, and actually have subscribed to a lot of different channels just because of that, and who we've met there. Met a fella, Bionic Life. His channel's enjoyable, his story is unbelievable, so if you get a chance, check out his channel. Met a lot of other people along the way. So I guess the whole YouTube thing has been kind of interesting, and that leads me into today's story. As I was down in the garage here this morning working on some stuff, I get a knock on the door, and in walks this fella by the name of Daryl. Had no idea who he was, didn't know whether he was delivering something that my wife might have ordered, or who knows who it was. But here it was, just a fan, someone that watches my channel, lives here locally, and said he watches Adam's channel and a handful of others. So I think we stood around and talked for about an hour, and just the amount of great people that are out there that aren't afraid to say hello and just, you know, stop by and talk for a little while. So I really enjoyed that. You know, I learned a little bit about Daryl and his life, and he passed along a couple tips and some things that he's gone through in his life, and it's just fascinating to hear from these different people. So wanted to thank everyone out there for just being kind and courteous in your comments, and you know, not being afraid to just say hi. But I've got one more thing that I'd like to show you guys, and if you know me, if you watched my channel long enough, you'll know that I like organization, and I like to create things that make my life a little bit easier. So I want to show you something that I did with my chainsaw accessories, if you will, and how I keep those organized. All my chainsaw tools and accessories I used to keep in a little metal toolbox, if you will, and just like a lot of toolboxes out there, everything was just thrown in the top of it. You always had to dig through it to find the stuff that you wanted. So I thought, well, man, I've got to be able to come up with a better way to store these tools to make it easier. So what I'd like to show you with this bag is what I've done and how well it works for me for storing primarily just my chainsaw stuff. If you're a weekend warrior like I am, really, you know, these type of things just make it a little bit easier for me when I load up and need to go cut up a tree or want to do some chainsawing. And just wanted to kind of go through this real quick and show you what I've done with this and how I use it. So if you want an idea, like I said, it's a Husky brand bag and it's 18 inches wide by about 12 inches tall, and it looks to be, oh, I would give it 12 inches wide also on that. But what I've done with this bag is the chain and the tape measure that I made, I hooked that on, and this bag actually comes with a shoulder strap, and I've taken that off, and on this particular side I hook my chain to it that holds my tape measure up, and it's got some pockets in here where I keep my wedges. Along with the wedges that I keep in here, it's got a pocket on each side, and in that pocket I keep a brand new chain for each saw. So I've got the two saws that I might use, so I keep a chain in that pocket, and I keep a chain in this pocket, brand new chain. Along with that, so I've got the wedges, I need some way to pound them in. It just so happens that that buckle strap on this side is also on this side. So I can take and use the sheath that came with this S-wing little hatchet and put it through the loop of the bag strap holder, and that's what holds this thing in here. So now I've got something to pound my wedges in should I need to pound in or whatever. So it works really well. Store it right in there, and with it being in there, it stays right attached to the bag. So now I've got something to pound my wedges in. I've got my chains. Now for the inside of the bag, it's got little pouches in it. So here's the neat thing about this is I can keep a pair of safety glasses, a pair of gloves in here, and they sit right on top of my ear protection. I've got all the scrunches in here in the pockets on the side. I've got a screwdriver and a regular and a Phillips head screwdriver. Keep my magic marker in here, or my Sharpie for marking the top of my chain when I need to file it. Keep some a toothbrush and an old wire brush in here, and keep some of these little dental pick type of tools in here in case the oiler hole gets plugged up with debris or whatever, so I can clean that out while I'm out. I keep a file for my new saw, and I keep a file for my smaller saw down in there, and one of these STIHL files that I bought, and jury's still out. I don't know whether I like it yet, but this one is for the small saw. I used to have to haul around this 1-gallon jug of chainsaw oil. Well, the thing with being a weekend warrior is you don't go through a gallon of bar oil in months and months and months and months. At least I don't. Some of you guys might cut way more than I do, but I don't. So this was one extra thing that I had to carry with me as I loaded stuff up. So what I did was I actually went to the Dollar Tree, our local Dollar Tree, and I found these. And I'll put a picture up here of what it actually was, but it was just a detergent bottle. It was the right color. I found it in orange. And all I do is I put my bar oil in here, and the bag on this particular side fits these two very nicely, and they're equal to about a half a gallon to put both of them in. So what I do is I just take this bar oil jug and dump in to these. Then I can keep them right in there. So it's a smaller quantity. I don't have to lug around my 1-gallon jug that I'm not using, and it's not an extra item I have to pick up and carry. So it's right here within my tool bag. So when I go out and need to cut something, I grab the tool bag that's got everything in it, I grab my saw, and I grab my fuel. But the reality of it is the amount of stuff that you have to lug around just to go cut up some firewood, I tried to reduce that or refine it to make it a little bit easier. So if you guys are wondering or whatever, these tool bags work perfect for going out and setting up your chainsaw stuff, keep it all there, and if I am over cutting, all I have to do is take this with me, or I can leave it right in the back of the side-by-side, and I've got all the tools that I would need should I need to sharpen a chain or tighten a chain or do a little bit of maintenance on the saw. So look for a little bit of a bag that you can put some of those tools in and make life a little bit easier for you. I got it down, and my concern of how dead was it really, I guess I was right in not wanting to be underneath this thing or anywhere with a chainsaw with it, because this is basically just all pure punk wood in here right now. I am going to go ahead and cut it up a little bit, see if there's anything in here that's worth saving. But as you saw, when that thing went over, it basically just exploded in 3 pieces as it hit through the ravine. And I'm not even going to go after any of that. I can't reach it. I can't get down there to get to it, to pull it across the ravine. But the reality of it is at least now this tree is not going to continue shedding limbs every time we have any kind of windstorm up here. And I'll go ahead and get the stump cut off of it and see what's left there that might be worth cutting and saving. And I'll dress this back up and clean it all up. So I'm excited to actually put this new STIHL MS 462 into this log here and see how well it cuts through this, and whether any of this wood is good or not, or just taking it down was a good thing just to make sure it didn't fall down here into the yard area. So let's get the chaps on and get this thing stumped off. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you have already seen over on Adam's channel over on Hometown Acres when we both bought new saws, and he got the MS 400 and I got the MS 462 for no other reason other than when we walked in, he fell in love with the MS 400 and took it before I could. So we actually went to another dealer that was probably a half-an-hour drive, and they had this MS 462 there, and boy am I just completely impressed. This saw, compared to what I had, which was the 029 Super, and like I stated, it was about 20 years old. This saw is night and day different from the saw that I was using in the past. And this particular saw just cuts and cuts and cuts. And right now I've got the 20-inch bar on it. I have a 25-inch bar for it as well if I get into some bigger rounds, things like that. and I am using the STIHL brand chains for it, and it is the yellow. So let's go ahead and get this bugger fired up, and we'll see what we can cut into on that particular log there and find out if there's anything worth saving on that or not. But we're going to go ahead and mark it up at 16-inch lengths, lop the stump off of it, and see if there's anything there worth saving. I'm sure that once we get down a little bit further, we maybe get 6, 7, 8 rounds out of it, but it's still good campfire wood, and might as well split it up and use it. It looks pretty bad down in here, but I think we'll cut it up. It's just loaded full of bugs. So we'll get it marked up and cut some of it off and see if we can get anything out of it. So I figured we'd throw Chase in here and let him have some fun a little bit too. Does that thing really cut? That is a powerful saw. I sure do like that. So just an amazing difference in the amount of power this thing has compared to the old 029 that I've got. More than happy with this thing so far. So we're gonna drop this and finish cutting it up. All right, so I finished cutting up that old dead log up there, and there's just been something that's been bugging me for the past couple of days, and that is the chainsaw challenge that Adam and I had back over on his channel there. If you didn't see it, go check out Hometown Acres, where we both got the new saws. And he's got the 400C, the MS 400C, and I have the MS 462. And it's just something about how he set his challenge up that was kind of bugging me. I guess I couldn't figure out why my saw looked or appeared to be so much slower. So I thought, well, I'll set up a new challenge. So we're going to do a rematch today. Had him come over, and he brought his saw with him, and I've got mine all ready to go. So I'm going to kind of do the way he did over at his house. He got the first pick of which end of the log he wanted to use. So today we've got Adam's here, and this will be mine here. So we're going to go ahead and set this challenge up. We're going to cut off five rounds here and see who can finish faster. And I guess the the winner takes all on this challenge here. So
you've got home court advantage.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a home court advantage. I might have made sure I got the right log and all that. So, but you know, in all reality, these saws are really a lot of fun and way powerful than I guess I'm ever used to. What do you think of it, Adam? You still happy with yours?
I'm very happy. Yeah, the biggest thing for me was the reliability.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only had it for a day, so I can't. But so far, and the reputation of STIHL, it's going to be a reliable saw.
Yep, good. Well, we're going to go ahead and set you guys up here to get a good look at this, and we're going to go ahead and do this challenge one last time. All right, as you can see, the log is even all the way down. We're both going to cut off 5 rounds. So, like I said, again, the log is even all the way down. When everything is set to be even, and like in Adam's video, you guys clearly saw that I was cutting the big end, so I wanted to make sure that when I did the rematch, it was completely even the whole way. Both logs were the same diameter all the way around. We got these cut up, and you could clearly see that MS 462 was so much faster than his saw. Even when that log, when I was holding it up with the excavator, broke in half, I was still able to cut it up, and as it landed on the ground, cut back through those pieces and still finished way ahead of him. So I'd like to thank Adam for coming back over and doing that rematch, and boy, I'll bet he's gonna go home just stewing over why his saw isn't quite as good as mine, but I'm glad he decided to come back over and give it a try. Again, wanted to just touch real quick on the tool bag. If you guys think that's a good idea, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you think something like that would work for you. I'm not saying that everybody needs to do that, but I am saying that it works for me, and that's really the important part. Is if I think it makes my life easier, well, I'm going to give it a try. And the STIHL MS 462C, boy, what a monster. Those things sure do cut nice. If you liked the video, like I said, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, let me know what you thought about the bag or the saw competition, if you will, and I guess subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.